Hi, welcome to the Fifth Tarot. I'm Teressena, and I'm happy to share with you today a little bit about the Fifth Tarot. My husband Martin and I were guided in meditation to create a tarot deck, and we were kind of curious as to why, being as there's hundreds and thousands of tarot decks out there, did we really need one more tarot deck? But the guidance that came through was that as we're evolving in consciousness, the tools we work with need to evolve with us. The Fifth Tarot deck is very much geared towards unity conscious, created in unity consciousness, and it embodies a lot of the energies of the fifth world, the multidimensional aspects of who we truly are within this tarot deck. It's a wonderful tool of transformation, and so I'd like to share with you a little bit about that. Traditional tarot decks have four suits to represent the elements of fire, water, air, and earth. There's an expression, he's not playing with a full deck. There's a little bit of truth where that comes from. If you think about the pentacle, it represents 5 elements. You have fire, water, air, earth, and ether. Ether is the prana, the chi, the life force. Without that, that alchemy isn't really complete. The ancient alchemists of old worked with 5 platonic solids as the building blocks of all life. And so our guidance came through to bring back a 5th element in this suit so that we have the complete energies of the elements that we're working with. One of the things that we also were guided to do that was very important in this deck was to return it to nature, to take out the objects of weaponry, the man-made objects. We are entering into an age of peace, and this deck is very harmonious with nature, reminding us of our oneness with the natural world. The element of fire is represented with different aspects of fire. Fire represents the spiritual body. This is our spark of divine light. It's our passion, our creativity, our sexuality, and our spirituality. How do we ignite that spark of light within us? How do we fuel that fire, that transformational energy that builds in that creational energy and that spiritual aspect within ourselves? The element of water is represented by shells. Water as an element represents a feminine energy of receptivity. This is our emotional body, our intuitive self. It's very fluid. The shell is a natural receptacle or vessel for that energy of the water. The air element is represented with feathers, birds of the air. The Maya have a wonderful name for a great spirit. It's he whose name is whispered in the wind. The element of air. So this deals with our mental body. It's letting go of egoic thoughts and connecting with divine mind, with that higher consciousness, attuning to the ideals and visionary aspects of the mental body. The earth element is represented with stones, different stones. This has to do with the physical body here on the earth plane. So the physical aspect represents things like work, career, finances, home, health. And again, we use the different stones to represent that as the stone ancestors, the wisdom, the record keepers of the earth. And the 5th element, ether, is represented by lotuses. And as I mentioned, this is that prana, that chi. It's the consciousness that is found in all living things, that connective energy. And this is connected to our soul body, our soul essence. The ether suit deals with our multidimensionality. It brings forward different things that we're all experiencing, gifts that we're stepping into, telepathy, clairvoyance, spontaneous healing, bilocation. It expands into how we align with our divine blueprint and the truth of who we truly are. Within Tarot, as a tool for divination, just a little bit of background if you're not familiar with Tarot, there's sort of a framework. You have your major arcana cards, your minor arcana, and the court cards. The major arcana deal with these primary archetypal energies that we all are experiencing on our soul's journey, our earthly journey. And so it brings forward these archetypal energies, these universal truths, these spiritual essences that is our soul's learning and understanding, and it does that through pictures, through imagery. Again, in more of a evolutionary way of looking at this, The guidance in this particular deck, the imagery primarily came through dreams and meditations, and the guidance was to restore the imagery that would be more reflective of divine masculine and divine feminine, how we come together in perfect balance in sacred union within ourselves. So this is just one example of the Strength card, a feminine energy. It shows a very strong, connected, centered, grounded image of the feminine, fully in her strength and power, this birthing energy of herself, of dreams and visions and consciousness. The divine masculine also in the old paradigm is very authoritative, domineering. The guidance here was to bring forward images of the divine masculine that restore the strength and power and virility, but also the benevolence. Here we see the emperor, his arms outstretched. This is a posture, a welcoming, protective energy, the guardian for all of life, rooted in the earth mother, and still the solar, powerful energy of the masculine. And then how they come together in perfect balance. Here's the Lover's card, showing different aspects of love. What's below the surface above the surface. This is self-love, love with others in relationship, and your love with whatever your understanding of the divine, of source, of universe, of God is for you. So there's this perfect alignment of love. Another part of the major arcana that we included was also shifting the energy and the name around certain concepts. This card here is actually one of the most popular cards in the deck. People always order prints of this. It's called the Shadow card. In traditional decks, it would be called the Devil. Well, it's an old paradigm, it's an old story. The shadow is that which is hidden, that which is brought to the light for us to look at, and it's a very powerful aspect of transformation that we see here. One other thing that I'd like to share with you is about how this deck was created. I mentioned that the imagery primarily came through dreams and meditations, and I did the drawings for the art. Martin, my husband, did all of the writing in the book that comes along with it, and that came through as guided writing, as channeled writing. So there's this wonderful dance of masculine and feminine energy and how this deck was created, as well as a shamanic energy. Just to give you a couple examples, the Sun card, when it was drawn on an autumn equinox with a solar eclipse, drawing that solar energy into the artwork, into the image itself. The Moon card, drawn under a full moon, again drawing in that lunar energy. In each of the suit cards, whatever feather, shell, stone, whatever that energy is, we used it in the actual drawing to draw those energies in shamanically for the medicine. So the deck has a very high vibration in working with it. One last part that I would like to mention also that positions this deck a little bit uniquely different are the court cards. In traditional readings, the court cards are often interpreted as a person outside of yourself that's going to be coming in with this information. Well, as without, so within. This is about our internal journey. And so in this deck, we removed the hierarchy and the gender-specific aspects within the court cards so that it's more about your journey of understanding. You start out as a seeker, become an initiate, then an apprentice, and then you're the mentor of that element or the elementer. So there's this progression of knowledge, of wisdom, of understanding the richness that is there in each of these elements. As we work with them alchemically, this is about balancing our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and soul aspects so that we create balance and harmony within ourselves, within our life, and in the world. So that's a quick little overview. Hope you'll take the time to investigate it a little bit further yourself. It's a very intuitive and approachable deck. Enjoy.